Oh,
Hey Alex, Jezebel, how's it going?
hey, not much. I want to tell you something.
All right, what's up?
I was thinking about joining my school's football team. What do you think?
Sounds great. Do you have any exercise plan or training plan that you have
Um,
ideas about?
Not really. I just kind of want to join and see what's up.
Okay, Jezebel, what brings you here today?
Well, I don't want to join a team or anything. I just want a big butt. I just want a big butt.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. Now when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Wanna pull up tough, cause you notice that butt was...
The more you squat, the more time you spend in your weight room will help your vertical leap. Now, what they do...
Want to have a better looking butt? Do you want to become a better athlete? There is one thing you can do, and that is the back squat.
I'm Andres from the Human Lab. This is the incorrect way to do a back squat. Excess in hip flexion leads to weakness in the trunk and tightness in the hips. This can also lead to injury.
When your knees are inwardly rotated, there's a weakness in your hip extensors and a tightness in your hip adductors, and this may lead to injury. If you are squeamish, this video may be disturbing, but is what can happen when the back squat is not done correctly.
Let me get a thumbs up, buddy.
Stretching helps the muscles in your body be flexible and pliable in order to be less likely to experience strain when executing certain exercises. Stretches for the back squat include two exercises, quadricep stretches and hamstring stretches.
Hey guys, I'm Kim, a CrossFit coach from the Human Laboratory, and this is the proper way to do a back squat.
First, you want to position yourself facing the squat rack. Place the barbell horizontally across your shoulder blades or on your mid-traps. Your grip on the barbell should be shoulder width apart or in a position that better suits you. Your arms and elbows should be flexed in external rotation and in horizontal rotation. Your hands or palms should be in a pronated position with your fingers flexed, grasping the barbell. It is always best to have a hooked grip when holding the bar.
You want to place your feet shoulder width apart, having them slightly rotated outward. As you begin the lowering phase, you are keeping your chest out with your chin up. Your back is in a neutral position, your knees are slightly rotated outward, and you're keeping the weight on your heels. You will feel the stress on your hamstrings. As you begin the lifting phase, you are fully extending your lower limbs, keeping your back in a neutral position. You're pushing your knees outward.
The rectus femoris and hamstring contract simultaneously when performing a back squat because the forearm is larger in the hamstring than in the rectus femoris, allowing a gradual eccentric contraction in the hip. However, the forearm in the rectus femoris is larger than the forearm in the hamstring, allowing gradual flexion of the knee.
Basically, when squatting down, your hamstrings are being used, and when you're going back up, your quads are being used.
Rectus femoris muscle, origin, anterior inferior iliac spine of the ilium and superior margin of the acetabulum. Insertion, superior aspect of the patella and patellar tendon to the tibial tuberosity. Its action is flexion of the hip, extension of the knee, anterior pelvic rotation. Gluteus maximus muscle, origin, posterior 1/4 of the crest of the ilium, posterior surface of the sacrum and coccyx near the ilium and fascia of the lumbar area. Insertion, oblique ridge, gluteal tuberosity on the lateral surface of the greater trochanter and iliotibial band of the fascia latae. The hamstring muscles consist of the biceps femoris, which has its origin the long head, ischial tuberosity, short head, lower half of the linea aspera, and lateral condyloid ridge. Its insertion is the head of the fibula and lateral condyle of the tibia. Its action is flexion of the knee, extension of the hip, posterior pelvic rotation, external rotation of the knee, and external rotation of the hip.
And the soleus muscle originates in the posterior surface of the proximal fibula and the proximal 2/3 of the posterior tibial surface. The insertion is in the posterior surface of the calcaneus, which is also the Achilles tendon, and the main action is plantar flexion of the ankle. The gastrocnemius muscle, the origin of the medial head is the posterior surface of the medial femoral condyle. The origin of the lateral head is the posterior surface of the lateral femoral condyle, and the insertion is the posterior surface of the calcaneus, which is the Achilles tendon. And the action of this muscle is the plantar flexion of the knee, ankle and flexion of the knee.
Hey, this is Rocio, CrossFit coach from the Human Lab, and this is why you should do a back squat.